In the land of the Yoruba, the world is crowded with gods. They are called the orisha. There is one for thunder, who throws stone axes from the sky. There is one for iron, who clears the road with a blade. There is one for the great river, and one for the deep sea. Above them all sits Olodumare, the owner of the sky, the source of everything. But before you speak to any of them, you must speak to Eshu. He is the keeper of the crossroads. He stands where three roads meet. The Yoruba call that place the Orita Meta. It is a place of choosing. Every road that leaves it goes somewhere else. Eshu sits in the middle of the choosing, and he watches. He wears two colors. One side of him is red, one side is black. Turn him one way and he is one thing. Turn him the other and he is its opposite. He is the door and he is the threshold. He is the first step of every journey and the last step home. He rules the marketplace too, where strangers meet and bargain and part. Every place where people cross paths and trade is his ground. Nothing begins without him. You will not find his shrine in the warm heart of the house. You will find it at the gate, at the very edge of things. Often it is only a mound of red earth or a rough stone set where the paths divide. That is where he lives, at the border, at the line between one place and the next. When a child is born, his name is spoken first. When a market opens, his name is spoken first. When a king is crowned, his name is spoken first. This is not because he is proud. It is because nothing moves until he opens the road. To understand why, you must understand a single word. The word is ashe. Ashe is the power that makes a thing happen. It is the force that turns a word into an act, a wish into a fact, a prayer into rain. Without ashe, a command is only breath. With it, the world obeys. Ashe runs through the whole of creation. It belongs to no single god. Eshu is the one who sets it moving on the roads between worlds. He opens the way a prayer must travel. He carries the word to the place it can act. So a prayer that skips him is a true word with no road beneath it. It is a thing with nothing to carry it. It dies in the dust at the gate. This is why the people learned to greet him first and to feed him first. They leave his offering at the threshold, never in the deep of the house. They honor the border before they cross it. There is one more gift he holds. Eshu speaks every language under the sky. He knows the speech of men, the speech of the orisha, the speech of the dead. He is the great linguist, the translator who stands between all worlds. A word given to Eshu can travel anywhere. He will carry it across any border. But here is the thing you must hold close. He does not always carry the word the way you said it. He carries it the way you meant it, or the way you deserved. For Eshu is more than a messenger. He is a tester. He sets the trap that shows a proud man his pride. He pulls the loose thread on a quarrel that people were hiding. He does not do this for sport. He does it to keep the order honest. A bond that breaks at his touch was already cracked. He has many roads, he has many faces, and not one of them is a lie. Olodumare does not walk among men. He is too high, too far, too vast for any road a person could take. So how does a prayer climb that far? How does a sacrifice reach the sky? It climbs in the hands of Eshu. When a man kneels and gives his offering, Eshu is the one who lifts it. He carries it up the long road to heaven. He sets it before Olodumare, and he carries the answer back down. This is why the people honor him first and feed him first. A gift he has not been thanked for is a gift he is slow to lift. A messenger you have not honored will not run fast for you. There is a reason he is given the first share of every sacrifice. In the old accounts, the orisha once tried to send their gifts to heaven without him. They kept the best for themselves and left the messenger nothing. So the gifts did not arrive, the words did not land, the road simply closed. Nothing the gods offered reached Olodumare at all. One by one they learned the same lesson. A sacrifice the messenger has no part in is a sacrifice that goes nowhere. So they gave Eshu his portion first, and the road opened again. From that day his share comes before all others, not from greed, from the plain shape of how the world works. Without the messenger, even the gods cannot be heard. But carrying gifts to heaven is only half of what Eshu does. The other half he does beside Orunmila, the orisha of wisdom. Orunmila is the keeper of Ifa, the great body of sacred knowledge. When a person wants to know their fate, they go to the diviner. The diviner casts the sacred palm nuts and reads the pattern they fall in. Each pattern is a doorway into the wisdom of Ifa. Orunmila holds that wisdom. He knows every path a life can take. He can see the trouble coming down the road before it arrives. And when he sees it, he names the offering that will turn it aside. But knowing the offering is not enough, the offering must be carried. It must be placed where it can do its work, and that is the task of Eshu. The Yoruba say Eshu holds the keys to the storehouse of sacrifice. He decides whether a gift is accepted and whether it does what it was meant to do. So the two of them work as one. Orunmila sees the path, Eshu walks it. Orunmila speaks the cure, Eshu makes it move. There is a saying among the people, wisdom alone does nothing. A word of prophecy is a seed, Eshu is the foot that plants it. This is the messenger, the one who carries the gift up and the fate back down. Cross him and the road stays closed. Honor him and there is no door in any world he cannot open for you. The Yoruba have a word for the offering. The word is Igbo. Igbo is the gift you give to set the world right. It is the sacrifice the diviner names when he sees trouble on the road. And Eshu is the keeper of Igbo. He sees who gives and he sees who forgets. And he gives back exactly what he is given. The diviners keep 1,000 stories that teach this. They all run the same way. They tell of a man whom the diviner warned of a coming misfortune. The diviner cast the palm nuts and frowned. He told the man that a loss was walking toward his house, but the loss could be turned aside. He named the Igbo, a little oil, a handful of grain, a few cowrie shells at the crossroads. The man made the offering at once, and he made it with a full heart. Eshu took it, and Eshu turned the loss aside. Now this man had a neighbor. The neighbor heard about the warning and laughed. He said only a fool gives good grain to a stone at a gate. He said he would keep his oil and his cowries and trust his own 2 hands. The misfortune that had passed the first house found the second one open. It walked in and it stayed. By the next season the believer was whole and the mocker was ruined. The people saw it and they understood. Eshu had taken nothing that the offering would not have spared. He had only let the road run as the road would run. Here is the harder truth inside it. The offering does not have to be large. Eshu is not bought and he cannot be bribed. They tell of a poor woman with almost nothing. She had a small field and a smaller hope. The diviner told her to honor Eshu before she planted. She had a single measure of grain to her name. She gave a handful of it gladly and a true word of thanks. That season her 1 field grew enough for 10. Travelers stopped at her gate. Fortune found her door and stayed. A rich man in the same village had been told the very same thing. He had barns full to the roof. He said a man with full barns owes nothing to a god at a gate. That season the rain fell wrong, his barns flooded, his grain rotted in the wet. His friends grew cold, his great name grew small. By the next year he stood at the crossroads, poor and alone. The people watched both lives, and they understood the messenger. He is not cruel, he is not kind, he is the keeper of the order itself. He guards the bargain between the living and the gods. He can sow disorder in an afternoon on a quiet road with a 2-colored cap. But the thing he protects is order, the give and the take, the word and the answer. Break your side of that bargain, and the whole exchange breaks with it. He gives the world back to you in the shape you handed it to him. A full barn means nothing to him. A true heart means everything. Honor the road, and the road will carry you. Forget the road, and the road will forget you. Now we come back to the 2 farmers. They had been friends since they were boys. They had shared bread, they had shared water, they had shared every harvest. Their fields lay on opposite sides of one narrow road. For 40 years they greeted each other across it, morning and evening. The people of the village said their friendship would never break. They said it loudly, and they said it often. Eshu heard them, and Eshu does not like the word never. So one morning he came to walk the road between the 2 fields. He wore his tall cap. The right side of that cap was red, the left side was black. He walked slowly down the line between the farms, and he let each man look. The farmer on the right side of the road saw only red. The farmer on the left side saw only black. Neither one could see the other half of the cap. Then Eshu reached the end of the road, and he turned around. He walked back the way he had come. Now the man who had seen red saw black. Now the man who had seen black saw red. Both of them watched the same stranger twice. Both of them were sure the cap had changed before their eyes. Then he was gone, over the hill, down some other road. That evening the two friends met to talk, as they always did. One spoke of the stranger and his fine red cap. The other frowned. He said the cap was black. The first man laughed. He thought it was a joke. The second man did not laugh. "You saw red," said one, "then black," said the other. "The cap turned in front of me." "No," said the first. "It was red and only red, both times he passed." "You are blind," said one. "You are a liar," said the other. Words became shoving. Shoving became blows. By nightfall the whole village stood between them, pulling them apart. A friendship of 40 years lay broken in the dust. And neither man had lied. The one who saw red had truly seen red. The one who saw black had truly seen black. Each had trusted his own two eyes. Each had been certain. And certainty was the thing that ruined them. Some who tell this story say the cap was red and white. Some say it was black and white. The colors move from village to village. The lesson never moves at all. Two honest men can look at one truth and tear each other apart, because each one only ever saw his side of the road. Eshu watched it all from the top of the hill. He had not made them fight. He had only shown them that they could. For ages Eshu stood at his crossroads, and the people understood him. They knew the trickster was also the messenger. They knew the one who broke a friendship was the same one who opened heaven. Then the strangers came across the sea. They came with ships and with chains and with a book. They looked at the Yoruba gods, and they did not see gods. They looked for one figure to match the enemy in their own pages. They needed a devil, and they found the orisha with two colors, the trickster at the gate. The one who could turn friend against friend on a quiet road. To them, that was proof enough. In the long work of putting the Bible into the Yoruba tongue, a name was needed for Satan. The translators reached for the name Eshu, the mistake set like stone. For generations after, a Yoruba child would open that book and meet his own God. And the book would call that God the Prince of Evil. The strangers had stood on one side of the road. They had seen the black, and they had been certain. They never once thought to walk around and look at the red. They made the exact mistake of the two farmers. They saw one face of a thing with many, and they swore it was the whole. But by then, Eshu had already done what Eshu always does. He had taken another road. He had crossed the water inside the people who were taken in chains. You cannot bind a god in a ship's hold, but a god can travel in the heart of a captive. And so the memory of him took root on far shores, and it grew. It did not grow into one figure. It grew into many, each its own. In the Afro-Brazilian houses there are spirits called Exu. They keep his crossroads and his place at the gate, but Exu is its own kind of being. In some traditions Exu is not one god at all, but a whole family of spirits. In Cuba, the Lukumi keep Eleggua, who opens and closes every way. He lives behind the door in a small head of cement, with cowrie shells for eyes. He is bound closely to the old Eleggua, though the two are not held as exactly the same. And in Haiti, an old man waits at every crossroads. They call him Papa Legba. He leans on a cane, he smokes a pipe. He is a roi of Haitian voodoo, his own spirit, shaped by his own land. But he too holds the gate, and he too is called first before any other. These are not one god copied across 4 lands. They are branches grown from a single root, each into its own tree. The root is the same, the keeper of the crossroads, the opener of the way. Different names, different shores, the same old work at the gate. The men who called him the devil are dust now. The book that misnamed him is only one more book. And Eshu still stands at the crossroads, waiting in 100 lands at once. The misunderstood God outlived everyone who misunderstood him. He is still there, he still stands where 2 roads meet. He still wears the cap. Walk toward him from the left, and you will know exactly what you saw. Walk toward him from the right, and you will know it too. You will both be certain, you will both be sure, and you will both be wrong. That was never cruelty. That was the lesson he came to teach. The whole truth was never on your side of the road alone. Some doors only open for the ones who can admit they cannot see the other side. Eshu is the keeper of those doors. He always has been. If his story stayed with you, then help keep it alive. Subscribe and join the Myth Keepers, and the next tale will be waiting beside this one, because some stories must never be forgotten.